Right, ladies and gentlemen, now we have the mind-mind exchange. In conversation with Sister Shivani, Brahma Kumaris on spirituality and balance. As pandemic ebbs, will our needs overtake our sense of purpose? So जोरदार तालियों के साथ, let's invite Sister Shivani. I would request to please black out the screens, and can we have more lights?
Om Shanti and good afternoon. Let's take a minute of silence. तब तक लाइट भी ऑन हो जाएगी. Just take a minute of silence and reflect on the last 2 years, not in the terms of what was happening outside, because that's something we all know, but reflect to check how have the last 2 years been inside, within me. Close your eyes. By the time everybody around you settles down, just close your eyes. You just have to ask yourself a simple question, which we always ask other people. When we meet people, we say, "How are you? Aap kaise hain?" Take this minute to ask yourself. Everything is perfect outside. I'm doing fine within. But is there anything I feel I can change which will raise my energy, my vibration? Because as a leader, who I am as a person, who I am as a vibration, is what ripples to everyone around me. So is there anything I can change about myself? And choose any one thing very specific. Specific. A habit, a way of thinking, a way of speaking, living, कोई भी एक आदत. One change, and when I create this change, it's not only I who benefits. I create an energy which empowers, which transforms. And that begins a ripple effect. Because they who get empowered, they empower further. And if you think you found that one thing which will raise your vibration, and you don't have to share it with anybody, but if you could just raise your hand that you found that one thing you would like to change in yourself. Because if we haven't found, we can still wait for another minute. Okay, anyone who has not yet found? Acha, so some of us have not raised our hand in both the options. कोई बात नहीं. Light on कर दे. Okay, शुक्रिया. maybe we were not finding the answer because we were looking at that area of life where we don't often stop to pause and check. We don't. We know everything that's happening in our organization outside, but sometimes we're not aware of what's happening in the organization inside. Because we've lived a life which said, if everything is perfect outside, automatically everything will be perfect inside. यही इक्वेशन है ना कि अगर बाहर सब ठीक होगा तो अंदर तो अपने आप सब ठीक होगा. If I'm doing well, I will be happy. If I'm doing well, my family will be happy. If I'm doing well, my children will be happy. And so I'm working extremely hard. Important to work hard, but then to pause and check that the result that I wanted of all my effort, am I getting the result? Because my every karma has a consequence. 5 days back, there was an article in the Hindu, which all of you must have read, that the Indian firms are losing about $14 billion over mental health issue in a year. On mental health issue. And that also we are equating it only with money. That the amount of money we are losing because of somebody's mental health issue. What about the person? What about the person? What about the person's family? Can that be equated? Can we get a figure for what they lose? When a young person dies of a cardiac arrest and the doctor said, oh, it was stress. आप उसको किस चीज़ के साथ equate करेंगे? Can everything be equated with money? So when we hear these figures, they're not just figures, they're not just news, they're not just information, they're something which requires us to come like this together and to say, okay, it's high time that we create a change. If this is the definition of success that we're talking about, that mental health on the rise, physical health issues on the rise, relationship conflicts on the rise, then can I truly call myself successful? And अभी तो हम इस generation की बात कर रहे हैं. Just wait and watch what happens in the next 10 years. When that generation, who is now in college or school, who is growing up saying stress is normal, who is growing up saying I'm depressed today, when they are going to come into the corporate sector. Would they have that energy to face what they have to face? Would they have that strength? And then who's going to look after them? So do any of you believe that there's a time to change has come? आपको लगता है कि ऐसे ही चलते रहें जैसे चल रहे हैं या कुछ चेंज क्रिएट कर लें? क्या लगता है? बिकॉज पैंडेमिक ने क्या किया? हमें टाइम दिया. पॉज एंड चेक, बिकॉज पैंडेमिक सेड एनीथिंग कैन हैपन सडनली. द वर्ड टू बी अंडरलाइंड वॉज अचानक. अचानक कुछ भी हो सकता है. एंड जब वो अचानक होता है, do I have the power, the strength to face that? So COVID, a physical health issue, and what was also on the rise in the last 2 years was mental health, divorce rate, suicide. इस सब का कोविड से क्या कनेक्शन था? Nothing. Nothing. But इस सब का किससे कनेक्शन था? The mind of the individual facing that uncertain thing. And then all those minds who were locked up at home are suddenly back at work, and a work which has suffered for 1.5 years, and suddenly everybody is like, ये करना है, ये करना है, ये करना है, ये करना है, सब कुछ करना है, अचीव करना है, without pausing to check कि जो वापस आए हैं उनकी state of mind कैसी है. And then last week there was another article which said, CEO now needs to be a chief empathetic officer. So are we ready to become the chief empathetic officer? And that can be anybody. They don't need to be a CEO by position. Ready to become a chief empathetic officer? Yes? आप में से किसको इसको लगता है I can be an empathetic officer, which means I am full of empathy. अच्छे से उठा लो, it's good to be full of that. And empathy का meaning क्या है? Empathy doesn't mean only to be able to understand what the other person is going through, to be able to be compassionate. But actually the need of the hour is not even a chief empathetic officer, you need a chief empowerment officer, the one who will empower the other person and change them. The time is over where you can talk to people and motivate them. Because when we talk from here, they listen from here, they like what we are saying, they're saying, "Aap baat to theek kar rahe ho, lekin I don't have that energy to create that change." So as a leader, the communication now just cannot be with words and my body language, and definitely not with presentations. It has to be with my vibration. On a scale of 1 to 10, give yourself a ranking where you feel you are in terms of your emotional health. 1 is obviously very low, and 10 is perfect emotional health, which is an EQ which you're looking for in people who join you. But before looking for that EQ in people who join me, I need to keep checking my EQ. Because if I don't check my EQ and I don't take care that the people working with me are at a good EQ, then even if somebody joins me with a good EQ, the EQ doesn't remain very high very soon. So a high emotional quotient would be a mind which is independent of situations and people's behavior. A mind which is untouched and undisturbed by situations and people's behavior, जिसको हम कहेंगे आत्मनिर्भर. हम सब आत्मनिर्भर भारत बनाना चाहते हैं, सेल्फ रिलायंट. बट आत्मनिर्भर भारत तब बनेगा जब हर इंडिविजुअल आत्मनिर्भर है. Atmanirbhar means I, the being, Atma, is not dependent on anyone for how I feel. I am Atmanirbhar, which means I am emotionally independent. Which means I cannot live a life which says, I'm stressed because of, I'm angry because of, I'm hurt because of, I'm upset because of, I'm worried because of. Who is the creator of our thoughts and feelings? Who is the creator of our thoughts and feelings? अच्छे से बोलिए. We नहीं, I. कुछ जगह पर I बोलना चाहिए और कुछ जगह पर I नहीं बोलना चाहिए. So who is the creator of my thoughts and feelings is I. I know this is the truth, and yet in action, my mind keeps saying, I'm feeling like this because of, and I point the finger outside. Come COVID, and the world said fear and anxiety is normal. For a few days, fear and anxiety, for a few weeks, few months was fine, but when it turned out to be over a year, it doesn't remain at fear and anxiety, it shifted to an anxiety disorder. Why? Because we thought pandemic outside, so fear and anxiety is normal. This is not Atmanirbhar. This is Paristhiti Nirbhar, situation dependent. If someone doesn't behave right, naturally I will get angry. This is called people dependent, not self-dependent. And that is a low EQ. So the need of the hour is to energize everyone where the mind is more powerful than the situation and other people's behavior. And that is when that individual will be able to be calm in a crisis. Will be able to be stable even the other person is not behaving right with them. How many of us feel I can be stable in a crisis? And I can be unaffected if someone is wrong to me, behaves wrongly with me, speaks wrongly about me, or does something wrong to me, and I can be stable. And if I cannot, it doesn't matter, but I still need to rank myself on a scale of 1 to 10. What is the level of the disturbance? Because then I give myself a marking. 10, always stable, and 1 gets disturbed very easily. So where do I put myself? On the journey of life, am I competing with people around me? Am I uncomfortable when somebody around me does better than me? When I find it difficult to be happy when someone else has done well, then my EQ is a little. But growing up in a world which says competition is normal, तो फिर competition normal है तो jealousy normal है, and jealousy normal है, competition normal है, तो EQ तो फिर. So to take care of our people, we only need to start taking care of one person, me, myself. And when I start taking care of myself, I will start prioritizing people over performance. आज स्कूल्स में परफॉर्मेंस ओरिएंटेड कल्चर है. अब आप चेक करिएगा ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में कैसा है. स्कूल में इफ़ आई डू वेल एंड आई कम फर्स्ट इन एकेडमिक्स, doesn't matter I'm egoistic, doesn't matter I'm not kind and caring and sharing, but I've come first, so I'm called successful and I'm awarded. And another child, very caring, very compassionate, cooperates with everybody, but academically did not do well, is labeled a failure. क्या ये ठीक है? क्या ये सही है? क्या बात है? ये सही नहीं है? But he did not or she did not do academically well. So everybody says, you failed. You failed. And उस बच्चे पर उसी एज से लिख जाता है लेबल, you failed. Because nobody saw his sanskars, his nature, his personality, which means nobody looked at the EQ. उसकी EQ बहुत हाई थी, लेकिन सबने कहा यू फेल्ड, यू फेल्ड, यू फेल्ड, यू फेल्ड, यू फेलियर. तो वो जो EQ हाई थी वो भी क्या होने लग गई. So that's called a performance oriented culture. And if we focus only on the performance, then performance is all that we get. एक है performance, एक है people. एक है achievement, एक है संस्कार. दोनों में से कौन से ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है? सिर्फ यहाँ नहीं बोलना, मतलब कल करना है जाके. Because that is the change that is needed. Okay, if I'm doing very well, it is not necessary that I'm very happy. But if my EQ is high, do you think I will do well in what I'm doing? Let's get the equation right. If I'm doing very well, it's not necessary I'm emotionally and mentally happy and healthy. But if I'm emotionally very strong, do you think I'll do well in what I'm doing? तो इसका मतलब अगर इसका ध्यान रख लें तो ये तो अपने आप ही हो जाएगा ना. बट हम इसका इतना ध्यान रख रहे हैं और ये क्या होता जा रहा है? If we are creating miracles in the industry with people who are fatigued, tired, mentally exhausted, what miracles will we create if people come to work every day happy, energetic, and vibrant? And everybody unanimously saying the major cause of my stress is work related. Do you believe that? 3 words, please put your priority list. Self, family, work. Self, family, work. Priority list, order. Self, family, work. Priority. Work, family, self, or self, family, work. पैंडेमिक से पहले हम अगर किसी को कहते थे भाई थोड़ा टाइम निकाल लो, मेडिटेशन कर लो, कहते मरने की भी फुर्सत नहीं, आप बोलते हो ऐसे होकर बैठ जाओ, है ना, आंखें बंद करके बैठ जाओ. हमारे पास तो मरने की भी फुर्सत नहीं है. और सडनली जीवन ने दिखा दिया कि मरने के लिए फुर्सत नहीं निकालनी पड़ती है. लाइफ शोड अस हाउ वल्नरेबल एवरीथिंग इज. How vulnerable it is. Somebody left their home just going for a checkup and was suddenly in the ICU and I did not come home. It needs to wake me up. It needs to shake me up to say how vulnerable things are. And if I still don't change my priority list, then I haven't learned from what it had come to teach me. I have not learned. So as an individual, let me start taking care of myself. And if I am the leader of my team or an organization, then let me start taking care of everybody else also. In the lockdown, everybody thought, "Arey, hum ghar pe hain, finally we got what we wanted." Within a month, everybody said, "When will the office open? I need to go to work." क्योंकि घर पे तो ये मेरे से ऑफिस से भी ज़्यादा काम करवा रहे हैं, कोई टाइम ही नहीं है. So as leaders, we need to pause and ask ourselves, what are we becoming and what are we doing to other people? Only because we thought we are in a race, तो हम कुछ भी नहीं सोच रहे कि उनका ये घर का टाइम है, ये उनका बच्चों के साथ टाइम है, ये उनका सोने का टाइम है, कुछ भी नहीं, सब कुछ सोचना बंद कर दिया. This is a karma. And every karma will have a consequence. So it's time we change our karma to becoming caring and compassionate. When we did not have the technology toys, when we came home, we were at home. And we are that last generation which has seen that life without the technology toys. And now, since we are always connected, is there any time when we are not at work? Is there any time when we are not at work? And is there any time when we don't allow the other people not to be at work? And so if a mind goes on being at work every day, throughout the day, till 11 o'clock in the night, first thing in the morning at 5 o'clock, and अगर बीच में नींद खुल गई तो बीच में भी ईमेल देख लेते हैं, तो वो mind थक जाता है. So all these emotional health issues, mental health issues is nothing but a tired mind. Because a mind which is not getting rest on a daily basis, a mind which is not even getting rest on a weekend, a mind which is not even getting rest on a festival, a mind which is not even getting rest when they go for a holiday, is tired and fatigued. And so look at people early in the morning going to work, they are sleeping in the car. Because they are tired. थके हुए मन से कितना काम कराएंगे हम अब और? ये हमारा कर्मा बन रहा है. जब हम पहले कोई जॉब ज्वाइन करते थे, हम पूछते थे, सर व्हाट इज माय वर्क टाइमिंग, कितने बजे तक आई हैव टू बी एट वर्क. डू यू थिंक वी कैन गेट दैट कल्चर बैक? डू यू थिंक इट्स पॉसिबल टू गेट दैट कल्चर बैक, दैट वी हैव अ कट ऑफ टाइम एट वर्क? Can we have a cut-off time at work? Can we have a cut-off time at work? If we don't start doing that, then what was $14 billion last week? सिर्फ एक साल बाद वो फिगर फिर से आप देखिएगा. And we will be responsible. And that figure is not only what happens to the individual who works in your organization, that figure is also about what happens in their child's life. High rise of anxiety in children, school children, high rise in suicide and attempt to suicide. And they are saying, oh, बच्चों की जीवन में बहुत competition है. बच्चों की जीवन की कंपटीशन की वजह से ये कुछ भी नहीं हो रहा है. दिस इज ऑल हैपनिंग बिकॉज द अडल्ट्स दैट दे आर सराउंडेड बाय आर इमोशनली सो फटीग्ड दैट दे हैव नो एनर्जी टू एनर्जाइज देयर चाइल्ड एंड एम्पावर देयर चाइल्ड. दे आर ओनली एबल टू बाय थिंग्स एंड गिव इट टू देम. क्योंकि हम उसी पे मेहनत कर रहे हैं. आई एम वर्किंग हार्ड टू अर्न सो आई कैन बाय एवरीथिंग दैट मनी कैन बाय, बट द माइंड हीलिंग कैन नॉट बी बॉट विद मनी. फिजिकली भी हम ट्रीटमेंट खरीद सकते हैं, हीलिंग तो नहीं खरीद सकते, हेल्थ तो नहीं खरीद सकते. कैन वी कीप अ कट ऑफ टाइम एट वर्क? You don't have to wait for everybody else to do it. The one who does it now will be the true leader. And it always has to begin with one. But we tend to look at everybody else, they are not doing it, then I may be left behind. Start taking care of your people, and your people will create miracles at work. They will create miracles at work. And let's begin with ourselves. Once we do it for ourselves, we'll automatically be able to do it for our people. Can we keep cut-off time for ourselves? अपने आप के लिए नहीं, अपने आप के लिए भी नहीं. तो फिर empathetic होना बहुत difficult है. Empathetic, a tired mind cannot be empathetic. A stressed mind cannot be empathetic. Empathy is a high vibration. Fatigue and tiredness and stress and worry and anxiety is a low energy. So simple lifestyle habits. Take them right now. And if you want to raise your energy, then start experimenting with them. First thing, sleep cycle. If someone doesn't have a right sleep cycle, their emotional and mental and physical health will start getting affected sometime or the later, even if you're taking care of your body. The whole thing of self-care being about taking care of my body, even if you take care of your body, but if you don't take care of your mind, the body will not always be healthy. It will show you a sign. Because every thought we create, every single thought we create is a vibration which radiates to every cell of the body. And so we saw in this last year, young heart attacks of those who go to the gym, they eat a very good routine. And then what did the doctor say on the news channels? Stress. Finally, aa gaya na us par. Which means if I take care of my body without taking care of my mind, it's incomplete taking care. So the most important thing for my mind to be energized is sleep. Aajkal we have people from the West who are coming in doing workshops saying the 5 a.m. leadership club. Any one of you a part of the 5 a.m. leadership club? And we are joining those workshops having forgotten कि हमें thousands of years से पता था कि ब्रह्म मुहूर्त उठना होता है. पता था ना हमें? Brahma Muhurat means the highest vibrational time of the 24-hour cycle is between 4 and 5 a.m. Highest intuition. The coming time needs leadership with intuition, not always leadership with logic, not always leadership with information, leadership with intuition. Intuition मतलब आप बस silence में बैठेंगे and आपका mind कहेगा ये, that's it. सारे लोग कहेंगे ये, आप कहेंगे ये. बट वो वाला जो आंसर है ना, वो ब्रह्म मुहूर्त के टाइम पर आता है. सो इंट्यूशन, क्लैरिटी, accurate decision making and energizing happens at the Brahm Muhurat time. But for me to wake up at that Brahm Muhurat time and to remain energetic and vibrant throughout the day, I have to sleep early and sleep right. Doctors today are telling us sleep 8 hours, sleep 9 hours. Our parents and grandparents never slept 8 and 9 hours because they led a healthy lifestyle. So what is the right time to sleep? मतलब theoretically नहीं, practically. What is the right time to sleep? 10. How many of us make it a point to go to sleep by 10? Very good. अब इसमें सिर्फ छोटा सा एक change लेकर आना है. That if I have to go to sleep at 10, I'm not just going to fall off to sleep at 10, I'm going to experience deep sleep at 10 o'clock. And to experience deep sleep at 10 o'clock, I need to shut down my work files here by 8 o'clock. Because it will take at least 2 hours for all the mind's clutter of the whole day to shut down and to silence. Otherwise, when I go to sleep at 10, it's only my body sleeping and my mind is still working. Because still going to sleep, I'm taking business calls, I'm reading my emails, I'm reading my messages. So experiment for a month, and then you will do it for everybody in your organization because you will see huge benefit. By 8 o'clock, let's disconnect our work communication. हम कल सुबह मिलेंगे. And crisis जीवन में बहुत कम होता है. साल में एक दिन भी नहीं actually. इतना कम होता है. Crisis. The rest of the things we call them urgent. वो उतनी अर्जेंट होती नहीं है. आजकल तो हर ईमेल पे भी लिख दे अर्जेंट, वो उतना अर्जेंट होता नहीं है. लेकिन जब माइंड थका हुआ होता है सब कुछ ही अर्जेंट लगता है उसके अंदर. सो बाय 10 o'clock if I want to experience deep sleep, I eat a light early dinner so that I finish my digestion before going to sleep if I do not want to have any physical health issues. If I do not finish my digestion before I go to sleep, unnecessarily I have to sleep 2 hours extra just for that digestion to happen. As a leader, I should sleep less because I can use that time. But I can use that time if I manage my time the right way. So early dinner, light dinner, और अगर late हो जाए तो miss the dinner, कुछ नहीं होगा. It's better to miss the dinner than to have a late heavy dinner. That's the power, because fasting आपके mind और body दोनों के toxins को हटा देगा. So early light dinner, then disconnecting from work communication by 8 o'clock. By 9 o'clock, disconnecting from all other media. Which means let's not watch the world news before going to sleep. It's toxic. It's toxic. Because when we go to sleep, and the first hour when we wake up, our subconscious mind is active. So then what we consume is not only on the top layer of the mind, it's going to go very deep into my personality. So 1 hour before I sleep and 1 hour after I wake up, I should not have a single negative, low energy word going into my mind. Which means whether it's in the name of news, whether it's in the name of entertainment, whether it is a name of connectivity on social media handles, I cannot afford a single negative word going into me 1 hour before and 1 hour after waking up. Possible? Possible? Very easy. Very easy. Because once I keep consuming that, then stress and anxiety becomes a part of my personality. Because content is our emotional diet. Content is equal to our personality, and personality is equal to our destiny. So what we watch, read, listen is who we become. What we watch, read, listen is who we become. So at least the hour before sleeping and the hour when we wake up, not a single low energy word. 15 minutes before you go to sleep, me time. Me time, out of which 10 minutes consume high vibrational words before going to sleep. That's why spirituality plays a very important role, because spiritual content is high vibration words. Divinity, purity, empathy, compassion, forgiveness, letting go, acceptance, patience, cooperation. Consume 10 minutes before going to sleep, and the next 6 hours, that vibration will work on your subconscious, and that vibration will radiate to your body, healing your mind and your body both. Because you've taken the right energy just before going to sleep. Write a little diary and release any negative emotion created during the day. Don't take it to sleep. Don't take it to sleep. If you need to forgive someone, if you need to apologize, even if you can't say it to them, say it in your mind just before you go to sleep and send them that energy. That means the shower, not just for the body, but the cleansing of the mind before going to sleep. Then, if I sleep this way, I go into the delta stage of sleep, deep sleep, very fast. You will not wake up in the middle of the night. And at Brahma Muhurat, you will not need an alarm, because your mind and body would be rested and energized, and you will just wake up in a very natural way. The way people woke up before we had alarms, they would just wake up in a very natural way. Today we are moving away from our natural ways. Then the first hour of the morning, we don't look at our phone. Except for a doctor, nobody needs to look at their phone at 4 or 5 in the morning. आपको लगता है ऐसा हो सकता है? थोड़े दिन withdrawal symptom आएगा. Because the first hour of the morning, just after sleeping, absorption power here is highest. Whatever I consume will go deep inside. I do not need to consume the world in the first hour. I need to consume that which can change the world in the first 1 hour. If I consume the world, I will become what the world is. If I consume high vibrational content, I will change myself and become an instrument to change my world. So first hour of the morning, meditation, yoga, pranayama, and spiritual study. रोज कुछ कंटेंट जरूर सुनना है. Only exercise is not enough. Food, diet is very important. Every morning, if you begin your day with 15-20 minutes of consuming that spiritual content, it is going to become your way of thinking. And when it becomes your way of thinking, then empathy will come natural to you. You don't have to do anything to be empathetic towards people. क्योंकि आपने consume कर लिया वो सुबह सुबह. It will come natural to you that if someone has made a mistake, anger is not the way of communication. Can work happen without using anger as a weapon? क्या गुस्से के बिना काम हो सकता है? क्या गुस्से के बिना काम हो सकता है? अच्छे से बोलो, क्या गुस्से के बिना काम हो सकता है? तो फिर क्या हम अपने ऑफिस को नो एंगर जोन बना सकते हैं? क्या हम अपने ऑफिसेस को नो एंगर जोन बना सकते हैं? Our corporate social responsibility is not only that 2% that we do for society. That's of course a very big thing. But our corporate social responsibility is to send happy parents in the evening so that they can create happy children. That is our responsibility.